Good day, whoever watching this video. This is my presentation on law on corporation. So I'll be discussing the chapter 3, part of chapter 3 on one person corporation. So these are the topic that I'll discuss. So first we have display of corporate name. Second, single stockholder as director, president. Third, special function of corporate secretary. And the last one is the nominee and alternate nominee. First one is the display of corporate name. According to section 120 of corporate code, display of corporate name, a one-person corporation shall indicate the letters OPC either below or at the end of its corporate name. So simply if the corporation is one-person corporation, the corporate name should be specifically identified as OPC by adding it either below or at the end of its corporate name. So people, specifically investors, can identify what type of corporation they are running. So next, we have single stockholder as director, president, accord, as director, president. So according to section 121 of Corporation Code, single stockholder as director, president. The single stockholder shall be the sole director and president of one person corporation. So if the corporation is one person corporation, there will be single stockholder, and that stockholder is the only one who can be director or president of that said corporation, because there is no other shareholder who own voting shares in one person corporation. So next, the third one on my report is the special function of corporate secretary. According to section 122 of corporate code, treasurer, corporate secretary, and other officers within 15 days from the issuance of its certificate of incorporation, the one-person corporation shall appoint a treasurer, corporate secretary, and other officers as it may deem necessary, and notify the commission thereof within 5 days from appointment. So the single stockholder may not be appointed as the corporate secretary. A single stockholder who is likewise the self-appointed treasurer of the corporation shall give a bond to the commission in such a sum as may be required. So provided that said stockholder or treasurer shall undertake in writing to faithfully administer the one-person corporation funds to be received as treasurer, and to disburse and invest the same according to the articles of incorporation as approved by the two commission. The bond shall be renewed every 2 years or as often as may be required. So in one corporation, the company should appoint officers such as treasurer, corporate secretary, and other officers, and the corporation should inform the commission within 5 days from appointment. And also, the single stockholder may not be assigned as corporate secretary, but he can take the role of a treasurer. The single stockholder who assumes the position of treasurer will post a surety bond. So, surety bond is a written agreement to guarantee compliance, payment, or performance of an act. So, for the continuation of this topic, according to section 123, special functions of the corporate secretary, in addition to the function designated by the one person corporation, the corporate secretary shall. So, first one is be responsible for maintaining the minutes book and or records of the corporation. Second one is to notify the nominee or alternate nominee of the death or incapacity of the single stockholder, which notice shall be given no later than 5 days from such occurrence. So next one is to notify the commission of the death of the single stockholder within 5 days from such occurrence, and stating in such notice the names, residence, addresses, and contact details of all known legal heirs, and call the nominee or alternate nominee and the known legal heirs to a meeting and advise the legal heirs with regard to, among others, the election of a new director, amendment of the Articles of Incorporation, and ancillary or consequential matters. So, simply in the section 123 of the Corporate Code, so it only discusses the special functions of the corporate secretary according to corporate code. The corporate secretary shall be responsible for maintaining the minutes book and all records of the corporation. The corporate secretary shall notify the nominee or alternate nominee of the death or incapacity of the single stockholder. Such notice shall be given no later than 5 days from such occurrence. So the corporate secretary shall notify the commission of the death of the single stockholder within 5 days from such occurrence, and stating in such notice the names, residence, addresses, and contact details of all known legal heirs. And the last one is the corporate secretary shall call the nominee or alternate nominee and the known legal heirs to a meeting and advise the legal heirs and with regard to, among others, the election of a new director, amendment of the Articles of Incorporation, and other ancillary and or consequential matters. So, also according to corporate code, the one person corporation can designate other functions to the corporate secretary. So, the last topic is about nominee and alternate nominee. According to Section 124 of the Corporate Code, nominee and alternate nominee, the single stockholder shall designate a nominee and an alternate nominee who shall, in the event of the single stockholder's death or incapacity, take the place of the single stockholder as director and shall manage the corporation's affairs. The articles of incorporation shall state the names, residence, addresses, and contact details of the nominee, and alternate nominee, as well as the extent and limitations of their authority in managing the affairs of one person corporation. The written consent of the nominee and alternate nominee shall be attached to the application for incorporation. Such consent may be withdrawn in writing any before the death or incapacity of single stockholder. So simply means the single stockholder is required to designate a nominee and an alternate nominee names in the article of incorporation. So in the event of death and incapacity of the single stockholder, the nominee and the alternate nominee shall take the place of the single stockholder as director and shall manage the corporation's affairs. So the written consent of both the nominee and alternate nominee shall be attached to the application for incorporation. So such consent may be withdrawn in writing anytime before the death or incapacity of the single stockholder. So that would be all for my corporation for my report in the law of corporation in the chapter 3 in one person corporation. So thank you for listening.